Or one day you can say only one side. A teacher will teach today, students cannot ask questions to you. Whatever, I mean all kinds of switches, all kinds of tools are built within that in each of these LMSs, and then you can use them. For this, if this has to be successful, what are some options that are available to us? Perhaps you have to take a decision on that. The board has to take a decision on that. The first option is every teacher will work on one's own. She is teaching English somewhere in the college and she wants to take her classes interactively. She creates a lesson. There is a textbook already prescribed and she presents that lesson and she, right? Posts it, uploads it on Edmodo. It's available to her students and she generates the password to her students and gives it. That's the end of it. That's the easiest, but I think not a very good one. I think it's not any great way of creating resources for intermediate board. That's perhaps the lowest. The second best is you identify, you have to, of course, it's not an easy job, you identify the best minds that you have in the intermediate board in each subject, which may be, I think, which may have its own repercussions. I don't know how you do that, but you identify some real good brains in that subject. Maybe half a dozen should do, 10 should do, 10 should be ideal, not more than that. 10 people in each subject. So they need not be the regular teachers, they need not be the contract teachers, they need not be the guest teachers, they can be whoever you think are the best in that subject, who know the technology, who know the subject, who know how to teach that. So these three things should go together. So the content, the methodology, the technology. Unless these three things are known, I think the best teachers also fail. So today, the best teacher is not the one who has all the content. In 99% of the situations, students know more than teachers. That's an obvious fact. Before you have taught something, the student can already access that. And content used to be the king once. Content is no longer the king. Methodology is the king today. Technology is the king today. So, shift your priorities. So, identify some good brains, some 10 of them in each subject. You call them here. You give them a week's time, you give them a month's time, whatever. And then you ask them to produce all those lessons. Right? And if necessary, you can pass them on a trial basis. You ask the teachers to, go through that, give back feedback, and after that maybe they meet a second time, and then they revise them, and they make them available to all the colleges. 400 junior colleges in Telangana can have access to the best of the resources produced. Then the effort does not stop there. Suppose after 2 months, you get some feedback from students. This lesson is not done well. That exercise is very difficult. This picture does not suit here. This tone of this teacher is not audible. So suppose you give some feedback. Any day you can update. So there is one control room here in the intermediate board. The control room consists of half a dozen experts. Some gentlemen were sitting there, and then some people like that will sit there, and then they can constantly edit them, modify them, revise them, change them, improve them, evolve them, whatever. So a control room has to be created for that. They are not subject experts, they are technical experts. Right? They know a little subject, that's enough, and they'll help you. Right. This is the second system. The third system is you identify a panel. They need not be experts. They need not be subject experts. You identify a panel of people in each subject. What will they do? They will scout through the resources available created by somebody. Universities like MIT have live cast all their lessons, what a risk they have taken. They were the first in the world to do that. They started about 7 years ago. So the kind of risks, imagine a university professor allowing his live lesson to be telecast. What a great risk it is. The whole world watches it. One sentence going wrong, one word mistakenly pronounced, right? One full stop put in the wrong place, exposes them to global criticism, but they took that risk. MIT said, okay, we'll take this lead. All our university classes. And the university said, If you are ready for that, work here, otherwise quit the job and go away. MIT successfully conducted that experiment. Today, all MIT, like Khan Academy for instance, right? Like that. So, MIT has all its classes in the open domain. Every single class of every subject is available. Now, Board of Intermediate Telangana can take that kind of an initiative. Right? It can say all our classes are going to be live. When we give them the right tools, the right resources, access, etc., etc. That may be slight, it may take a little time, it may not happen immediately, but you can begin working in that direction. So in the meanwhile, what happens, this panel that you appoint will identify resources already available. I want to teach this lesson. Daffodils is the name of the poem that I want to teach. And are there any lectures, visuals, videos, comments, critical analyses available already? So I download that. I make a rich collection of all these resources. And the panel, what do? They just compile them and they make them compendiums, some kind of collections, and they make them available to colleges. College teachers will not use them as they are, but there will be supplements. There will be additional tools available. I want to teach my poem my way. I don't want to teach exactly the way the experts have suggested. Many people, many teachers may not like that also. So I'll teach my lesson my way, but the resources are available. I want to teach chemistry my way, but there is a simulation of an atom here and I want to show it because it's already, the resource is available. So this is the third way. So out of these three ways, whichever is most convenient to you, whichever is possible within the next 1 or 2 months before the colleges reopen, you plan that and then you take a decision. And once the decision is taken, I think it should not be very difficult to do it. There are organizations which are already doing similar things at various levels, and you can take the help of some experts in that technical as well as subject, and I'm sure it's going to be a very successful effort if you do that. In addition to these things, the machine, the mechanism, the medium and the tool, there are lots of other things available, and I think Mr. Hanumant Reddy, Mr. Surendra Reddy and others watched one of my recent presentations which I made to lecturers, about 700 lecturers from all over, which is a complete collection of all the technical tools that are available, starting from a dictionary to very highly sophisticated technologies that are available in the market. I had a quick run through in about 1.5 hours, and that kind of a session can be held and it can be open and you can do it. Somebody was talking about live casting the presentations in case you're going to have more than 100, 200, 500 students. Today, technology is available. Both Zoom and GoToWebinar allow you to live cast your lessons beyond that capacity for which you are paid license. To make that simple, to put it in other words, suppose I buy a Zoom license. This license is for 500 students. Right? So all these licenses are only in terms of the number of students, not in terms of the number of number of sessions. Suppose you buy a license for 1 month. Whether you hold 1 session or 5,000 sessions, the license fees is the same. Any organization is like that. Suppose I buy a Zoom license for 1 month. Within that 1 month, I hold 5,000 classes. The fees is the same. Suppose I pay 14,000 rupees for a month. That 14,000 rupees, whether I host 1 class or 100 classes, that is the same. But the number of students, there is a limit. Suppose my license allows me to webcast it for about 500 students. Suppose I have 550 students, what should I do? What happens to the remaining 50? So this licensed version allows me, while the session has begun, also to simultaneously, right, live cast it either on Facebook or on YouTube or on both. So I am teaching a lesson here. This lesson is going live there on Facebook or YouTube. The same way it also goes there. But all that you need is, you need one host and one co-host there. One organizer, one panelist. they have different names each. In Zoom they call host and co-host. In GoToWebinar they call panelists and presenters. So whatever are the names, the concept is the same. What do? Suppose you have one host and one co-host. The host takes care of the webcast, the Zoom, the main application, and there is somebody helping me with that YouTube. So both have chat functions, both have question functions. Suppose I post a question in the chat function here, because I am the host, I am seeing it myself, or I have somebody sitting with me and then she also is handling one more laptop there and then she is helping me read out that, and there is somebody else sitting here and he is watching that YouTube, and on that YouTube also there is a chat box, and there also people can post, and both can be. So the number can be unlimited. 500 I pay license, but 5,000 people can watch that without paying anything extra. So Zoom allows that and GoToWebinar allows that. So what you buy is not important, how effectively you use it is important. Before I close, I just would like to tell you one thing. The textbook is just a pretext. It's only a tool. So if I have something like this, if this is my textbook, this textbook is available to everybody, the same textbook. But what I do with the textbook that's available to me is my product. Unless I have passion, unless I have great enthusiasm, unless I am methodologically sound, unless I feel the pulse of my students, right? Unless I put my heart into what I am doing, my textbook remains just a piece of paper. So in the hands of the good teachers, the worst textbooks becomes the most ideal medium to teach what I want. And in the hands of a hopeless teacher, the best textbook also fails. So your job is not to create the best resources, but to create the best teachers. And for that, there is a need of motivation and then constant, updating them, and the incentives here that you give them, and so many other factors work. So please do that. And this is only a very short, brief introduction to what is possible. Perhaps if you give me more inputs, basing on that, I'll be able to help you a little more with what suits you best. If you have any questions, please ask.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, I'm in front of the internet textbooks. So just we are planning to prepare our textbooks with QR code. In what way it helps to our students? Because yesterday itself we had a meeting with the Telugu Academy people.
Right, what do you want to do next? So you are creating a textbook.
Yes, sir. For the next academic year, we are planning for QR code in our textbooks.
Okay. Please go ahead.
What is the extraordinary feature of this QR code? That is what we would like to know. Yesterday itself we had an initiation. We are not experts in this regard.
QR code
Yes, we are going
you have
to-
created some resource somewhere. Instead of searching for that, I just have a camera.